So within mergers and acquisitions, there are different challenges for migrations, but generally the merger challenge is the fact that you will have probably two quite disparate organisations that may well not have a common technology approach or base, that then need to be pulled together in some way. And so you need to make certain decisions. You need to make some decisions about, okay, so when you pull them together, are you going to try and actually transform them so that when you pull them together they look like one? Or is it more of a time-driven or event-driven piece? Are you doing this merger to lead up to, for instance, an IPO or some liquidity event? So actually time is the determinant. But you're also pulling together, it's not just about the technology, it's about the organisation and the people and the culture. So that's where I think in terms of, mergers, separations have a similar trait, although separations tend to be driven by, again, an event. Organisations tend to separate, pull out a piece of the organisation and sell it off, and that tends to be around, an equity player coming in or a number of equity players, and generally they're doing this with a strategy in mind of a sale or an IPO, and that tends to then be time-driven. But the issue with separations that we've observed is that generally you're pulling a relatively small part of organisation out of a supertanker of an organisation. And whilst it's key and important for the separated element, the supertanker still has to carry on its path and still has other priorities and will still move at the speed of a very large organisation. And that presents some conundrums, some challenges, some frustrations. And I think that in those circumstances, I think you just need to make certain decisions. So, for instance, if you're thinking about separating and transforming, I think you need to think about them separately. Let's separate and then transform afterwards. Let's not try and do the two at once.